Hey guys, welcome to Digit. Andrew here again. And since the lockdown's being extended for another 2 weeks, we thought we'd give you another list of recommendations for you guys to watch. This time we'll be looking at the 10 best science fiction shows on Netflix. And science fiction as a genre, just a little bit about the whole thing, has been around for a really long time. And since the 1900s even, the genre has basically given us a ton of stories and a ton of concepts and ideas that writers and directors have used throughout the ages. You'll see them in films like 2001 A Space Odyssey, and even like horror science fiction like Alien. So do join us, and we're going to take you through the 10 best shows on Netflix which fall under the science fiction genre. Hope you really enjoy them. We definitely enjoy watching these things and recommending to you. Also remember, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon for, well, notifications. Here we go. Alright, first up we've got Star Trek, the original series. Now, the wonderful thing about the internet is that sometimes it basically acts as a time machine, letting us go back and experience the culture and world of decades past. Such is the case with the legendary Star Trek. The show would basically play on TV back in the day in India, but now we've got all the episodes in one single place on Netflix. Experience what started it all and marvel at the great writing, excellent pacing, and William Shatner completely hamming it up. Truly a marvel, Gene Roddenberry's original Star Trek is seen as one of the best sci-fi shows ever and is definitely one to watch on Netflix.
There are things you can do with a lady.
Beam me up, Mr. Spock.
Next, we've got Altered Carbon. The show is basically very violent, sexy, and incredibly stylish, and is one of the best action sci-fi Netflix shows on the platform. It basically tells the story of Takeshi Kovacs, who's an elite soldier brought back from the dead using technology called stacks, which basically are these little discs that can store the human consciousness. He's summoned by a mysterious benefactor who wants him to investigate his own murder. Sounds wild, right? Well, you have no idea. If you like the melding of action and sci-fi, you'll definitely love Altered Carbon.
Mr. Kovacs.
I didn't ask you to bring me back into this world.
All I ask of you is that you solve a murder.
Whose?
Mine.
Then we've got 12 Monkeys. Based on the film of the same name, 12 Monkeys is a mind-bending, time-warping show that takes the best of the film and basically extrapolates on it. The story of the show deals with a low-life called James in 2043 who has to travel back in time to 2015 to stop the world from being engulfed in a deadly plague caused by the army of the 12 Monkeys, who basically released the virus in the first place. It's a really well-crafted show with excellent characters and a great narrative. Plus, it follows a lot of the beats that the film does. So if you've watched the movie, the show's gonna make perfect sense. Do check it out.
Can't just kill someone.
He's already dead. Everybody is already dead. You are already dead.
Don't understand? That's okay.
But you will.
Then we've got The Rain. The Rain is a Netflix sci-fi original series that tells the story of two siblings who have to deal with an empty and hollow world after the world's population has been wiped out by a deadly virus that is spread by the rain. Kind of weird, but really wild. It also acts as a coming-of-age tale in a world that requires you to not only survive but to avoid getting wet in the rain at any cost. It also really helps that the show looks amazing and is incredibly well shot. Don't think that this is a young adult show, it's far from it, it's so much more than that. Do check this out, The Rain, ladies and gentlemen.
Det handler jo ikke bare om at overleve. Det handler om håb.
Up next, we've got Lost in Space, a reboot of the classic television show and not so classic film. Lost in Space is not one of the best shows on Netflix, but it does have some really interesting ideas that are definitely worth checking out. The story is a little silly to take seriously, and the show does tend to have some not so great writing, but it makes up for it with an interesting premise and excellent visual effects. Plus, it's got a really nice story as well. While the first season is a little slow, the second season picks up the pace considerably and is an action-packed thrill ride for the whole family.
We're lost.
No kidding.
If you have any hope of saving your family, you will help me.
You go get our kids and you get them off this planet.
Then we've got Night Flyers. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones scribe George R.R. Martin's work, then you'll definitely want to check the show out. Night Flyers is basically a haunted house in space. Conceived in the warped and brilliant mind of Martin, Night Flyers tells the tale of the titular Night Flyer, a massive spacecraft that's being piloted by a crew of scientists and engineers who are on a mission to contact extraterrestrial life. But, as always, things never go the way they're planned and all hell breaks loose on the ship. Dark, creepy, and relatively well written, Night Flyers should be right up your alley.
He's using my memories against me!
Daddy? Just to show us you.
And then we've got Black Mirror. As we've said before, Black Mirror is one of the top Netflix series on the platform, and you'll be doing yourself a big service by not checking it out. The show is a series of episodes about the dangers of futuristic technology and how we as humans can be negatively affected by it. It's incredibly topical, seemingly set in a version of the future that we can actually see coming our way, maybe even just like 10-15 years ahead. Highly intelligent and well written, Black Mirror will fix your need for a thinking man's science fiction show.
Everywhere you look, people are hooked on the things!
Up next, we've got Dark, the first German Netflix series on the program. Dark is a mysterious and tense show that does not hold your hand but definitely rewards viewers who pay attention to the small details. The show tells the tale of a small town in Germany that holds a ton of dark and deadly secrets that are unveiled after 2 children go missing in the said town. There's time travel, some supernatural elements, and a whole load of excellent television. Again, don't let the subtitles fool you. It's an excellent show. Do check it out. Dark.
Anfang ist das Ende. Und das Ende ist der Anfang.
Up next, we have my personal favorite show on Netflix, which is Love, Death and Robots. It's another anthology series and is a bunch of animated shorts that lets creators run wild with their ideas. Each short is animated in a myriad of ways, and each of these shorts is unique in its own way. Our favorites include Beyond the Aquila Rift, The Witness and The Sucker of Souls. There are 18 episodes in total, and you'll breeze through most of them as they aren't very long. Just a word of caution, even though these shorts are animated, they're definitely not meant for children. So do be careful of that. And finally, we've got everyone's favorite, Stranger Things. The show that really put Netflix on the map. Stranger Things is basically a love letter to the 80s told through the eyes of a bunch of kids living during that era. The story is already well known at this point, but we'll run through it again anyway. So basically, there's this interdimensional rift that's been opened up by the US government. I don't know why they do this. And a deadly creature pops out of there. Basically, the Demogorgon. A bunch of kids and a telekinetic girl must fight to save their friends in town from being consumed by said dimension, which is called the Upside Down. There's way more than just that, but if you haven't watched Stranger Things, you'd best do that right now. Look, you're not going to regret it. The first season is absolutely essential television. Incredible stuff here.
Yes.
What if this whole time I've been looking for Will? I've been chasing after something else.
Alright, that was it, ladies and gentlemen. The 10 best science fiction shows on Netflix. We really hope you take these 2 weeks to check these out. I mean, we've got a lot of time here, and I think you could binge all of this in maybe 3 or 4 days. So we really hope you enjoyed them. Again, stay tuned. We have a lot more videos like this coming out. Also remember, subscribe, hit the notification icon for notifications, and we'll see you guys next time, yeah? From all of us at Digit and me, Andrew, see you guys. Stay frosty, gentlemen.